Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving deep into the book Ego is the Enemy by Ryan Holiday. This book explores how the ego can hold us back from achieving true success and happiness, and how we can control it to lead a more meaningful life. In this book, Holiday explores how our ego, our need to feel important, superior, or validated, can be an enemy to our growth. Through a series of examples from history, business, and even philosophy, he shows us how ego often leads us to self-destruct. Ryan Holiday is a best-selling author and former marketing director for American Apparel. His writing focuses on Stoicism, the ancient philosophy of resilience and virtue, which he has applied to modern-day success in books like The Obstacle is the Way and Daily Stoic. Holiday's work has influenced leaders, athletes, and entrepreneurs around the world. What is ego? The ego isn't just arrogance, it's that internal force that makes us prioritize our personal sense of importance over everything else. It can cause us to act out of fear or insecurity rather than rational thought. In Ego is the Enemy, Holiday gives us a powerful example of how ego can ruin careers. Take the story of John DeLorean, the famous automobile manufacturer. His ego got the best of him as he sought fame and fortune, and it ultimately led to his downfall. He was more concerned about his image and legacy than the reality of running a business. His ego blinded him, causing financial ruin and legal troubles. Key themes of Ego is the Enemy. Part 1. Aspire. In the beginning, we all need humility. Ego can stop us from learning when we're just starting out, making us think we already know everything. Holiday gives a brilliant example from the world of sports. Phil Jackson, the renowned basketball coach who won multiple championships with the Chicago Bulls and the Los Angeles Lakers, started his coaching career as an assistant. He didn't let his ego get in the way of his learning. Instead of demanding the spotlight, Jackson focused on mastering the craft of coaching, which eventually made him one of the greatest in the sport. Another powerful example in this section is Howard Hughes, the eccentric businessman and aviator. Hughes's ego grew after his early successes, and he began making irrational decisions. His obsession with perfection, his fear of failure, and his need for control led him to a life of isolation and madness. Despite his great wealth and accomplishments, his ego drove him into paranoia and eventually destroyed his legacy. Part 2. Success. Once we achieve success, ego often inflates, making us believe we can do no wrong. Holiday highlights the story of Bill Gates, one of the wealthiest and most influential people in the world. After co-founding Microsoft, Gates had great success. However, he nearly let his ego get in the way when the company struggled to transition into the new internet era in the late 90s. Gates realized that he couldn't let his past success dictate his future decisions. By acknowledging his ego and adjusting, he was able to lead Microsoft to continued success. Another example from the book is Doris Lessing, the Nobel Prize-winning author. She had a humble approach to her work and kept her ego in check. Despite winning such prestigious accolades, she focused on her craft, continuing to write and learn throughout her life. Lessing's story shows that ego often prevents people from recognizing the value of humility, even in the face of major success. C. Part 3. Failure. Failure is one area where ego can truly devastate us. Holiday talks about how people who fail often let their egos prevent them from learning from their mistakes. One of the most profound examples is that of Walt Disney, whose first business venture failed miserably. Disney could have easily blamed his failure on external factors or given up, but instead, he used it as an opportunity to reflect and improve. His story is a reminder that failure is part of the journey, and without humility, we can't truly learn from it. Another striking example of ego and failure is Mike Tyson, the boxing champion who lost his title due to arrogance and poor decisions influenced by his ego. Tyson's sense of invincibility led to reckless behavior inside and outside the ring, eventually contributing to his downfall. Despite his extraordinary talent, Tyson's ego couldn't keep him grounded, and it led to his failure. Practical steps to overcome ego. To overcome your ego, you have to start with humility. You need to recognize that no matter how successful or talented you are, there's always more to learn. Ryan Holiday uses the story of General Eisenhower during World War II. He never let his rank or title get in the way of collaborating with others. Instead, he always embraced humility and worked well with his team. Holiday talks about how focusing on the process rather than the end result can help you overcome your ego. He uses the example of Steve Jobs. Jobs' obsession was always about making great products, not about being the most famous person in the room. He didn't care for superficial praise as long as the work was remarkable. Step 3. Resilience in failure. When failure comes, resist the urge to let your ego protect you. Take the case of Ulysses S. Grant, the Civil War general who was repeatedly overlooked and even ridiculed for his early failures. However, he didn't allow his ego to prevent him from learning and growing. Grant's resilience in the face of failure eventually helped him lead the Union Army to victory. Step 4. Recognize when ego is at play. Holiday emphasizes the importance of self-awareness. One way to recognize when ego is controlling you is by looking at your emotional reactions. If you're defensive when someone offers feedback or feel slighted when not acknowledged, chances are your ego is at work. As Holiday puts it, ego is the enemy of learning. Conclusion. To wrap things up, Ego is the Enemy isn't just a book about overcoming arrogance. It's about controlling the internal forces that prevent us from growing. Whether you're facing failure, experiencing success, or just starting your journey, ego will always try to push you in the wrong direction. The key is to recognize it and work toward humility, focus on the process, and learn from every experience. Ryan Holiday's insights are timeless, and the examples he uses from history, sports, and business really help illuminate how ego can derail our lives. His ability to tie ancient Stoic philosophy to modern-day situations is incredibly powerful. Whether you're an athlete, an entrepreneur, or just someone trying to improve, Ego is the Enemy is a must-read. Thanks for watching. If you found this summary helpful, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more content like this. Also, if you've read the book or have any thoughts about ego, leave them in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. Until next time.